Hello and welcome back to my channel, The Guy in Wisconsin. Today we are going to be doing just a simple hook slash bracket for a piece of tubing so that it can be hung up without causing a kink. And to that end, rather than just being a straight plain old J hook, I'm going to have like an arc here for the tubing to rest over, and then from the side view we're going to have this incorporated into the circular edges and so forth, again to support that tubing. A couple of reliefs here so that we only have to hook it in this area here and it'll be supported. The dimensions are kind of driven, well, definitely driven by where it's going to be mounted, and I'm going to be using some double-sided mounting tape, and so the 35 wide is the width I want. The 45 high is what's going to be available in that area. This little tab here that's going to stick up and support it, I might have to adjust that a little bit because I do have to have the 30 millimeters from the top here, so in order to accommodate fitting that tube into the area we're going to put it. So this is going to be a little bit new for me. I'm going to start out by creating an arc here that this is going to follow, and then build it up from there. So there's going to be a little bit of a figuring it out on the fly, which I've done on other videos and I've had fair success. So we're going to see what happens. Again, I'm going to have this image down here in the lower left corner for you to follow along, and let's get started. So we're going to start out with the drawing. I'm going to do it from the front. I'm going to pop this up. We got our front side drawing right here. Now we're going to put a circle to start that initial arc that I was talking about. And it's a 100 millimeter radius, so it's going to be a 200 millimeter diameter, which is what this is going to draw out as. Then if we look at the drawing, we see that we want it to be 35 wide by 45 tall, and we want it catching just this top edge here. So I'm just going to roughly place this in here, and I'm going to do a center rectangle so that I stay on my axis point here. So we are going to do the width of 35, height of 45. And to place this, we're going to have to figure it out as we go. So we're going to bring it in here, and we're going to grab a distance from center to this point here. And like I said, we're gonna mess around with this a little bit. So we're gonna push it out. We know we want it to be less than 100 because that's the radius. So we're gonna start it out at 90, and that's gonna get us fairly decent, but that's gonna still leave a pretty strong edge there. So we're gonna try 95. That's real close to what I want. I'm probably gonna have to come back and tweak that again in a little bit. So that gives us that dimension there. And in order to lock this in here, this is one I struggle with. But we want this, we want it to be collinear on this line. So I'm going to add a line in here. It'll be a construction line. It's just going to come up the top here. And that's all we needed there. And then I should be able to place this dot to be coincident to that line. So I'm going to set this dot to be coincident with that line. And now everything turned black, so we should be good. So it's going to stay centered there for us. All right. Now, depth-wise, if we look at our drawing, it's going to have a total of a 34 depth, and I want it to be centered on this plane. So I'm going to extrude this both directions, the 17, so we get the total of 34. So we're going to finish this sketch. We'll be coming back to it to make some tweaks. And I'm going to stretch all this out. And we are going to go, oh, it is a distance. And we are going to do symmetric. And the extent, the total distance is going to be measured on one side. We could do total, but we're going to do one side because it's an easy number to figure out, so we're doing 17. And to get a view of that, we're going to take a look. That's pushing it both directions by 17. So we're going to say okay to that. Now I've got my first body out there. I'm going to get that drawing back just so we can kind of see how it built it in there, exactly what we wanted it to do. And I can see right now I probably want this space here to be smaller, because remember, I'm going to deal with that overall height. But this will be the bottom part of the circular support there, the curved support that's going to be in there. So if I come back to my drawing here, it's going to be pretty easy to switch this out. So now if let's say I just wanted 2 millimeters difference, I'm going to push that up to 97. Then we can see what that looks like. And I do like the looks of that. If I measure it out, I'm going to come from this point here to that point there. And yeah, that doesn't give me a good drawing point. I'm sorry. It is tough to get these to inspect. If I pushed it a lot, I'd certainly be able to get through that. All right. So now at this point, what I want to do is I want to work on the center line from the other side, so I can create a profile that's going to allow me to draw or to cut out that circular arc pattern in there. So we are going to add, I'm going to get rid of this drawing just to clean it up a little bit. We're going to add a construction plane, and it's going to be at that axis, and we are not going to push it out. We want it to be centered right there, right? And we're going to pull it right through our drawing. And then we're going to split these bodies. And we're going to take this body and we're going to split it at this plane. And now we've got two bodies here. We're going to get rid of the one on the right just so we can get in here and view it. So now we're going to create that drawing. It's going to be on the face of this piece here. And now it should let us get away with it. So I'm going to put my circle on here. We want it on that center line. Again, it's going to be the 30. And now I should be able to get a distance between these 2 points. Now it'll pop up for me. That's what I was after. So we know that we are going to be approximately, well, we got the 100 millimeters, and then we wanted it to be the half of that 30 inch circle, which would be 15. So we want that 115 up. We put that in here. And now we've got a circle in here, and we can see how it's going to create the circular pattern. And what we're going to do here is we're going to rotate it through the both structures. So we're going to do a revolve. We're going to revolve this, and the axis is going to be, get our origin here, the axis is going to be our y-axis. Oh, come on, Mr. Y-axis, show up for me, please. And now it knows that we're going to do something with it, so it did a cut. So if we take a peek here, now we've got a circular angle pattern around that radius point that I created. So now we've got a nice curved feature, and I'm going to be able to rejoin these two halves now. So that's what I'm going to do with this next point, is I'm going to join the two halves. So I'm going to combine this body and that body. Now we're back to one body again with that curved opening. We're going to grab, oh, you know what? I want to go back before that revolve and get back into this image here. Grab this. And what I want to do here is create tangents to that circle going straight up. So I have to get rid of one of these bodies so I can get back to my drawing. And put a line straight up here, right up to the top. And another one straight up here, right up to the top. And also, I know I don't want to go more than halfway high on this outer edge. So that's going to come out to the side here. And finish that sketch. Now nothing changed because on the revolve I didn't change what's happening on the revolve. So on the revolve we are going to include this and this in the revolve. So that part's working fine, and I got to get it to accept that I want this portion in there as well. Got the same axes, and why is it not allowing me to? I'm going to allow this much. Now as we can see, oh, it didn't go all the way to the top for some reason. Oh, that's because my revolve, I got it. So this is teaching me lessons here. Because this portion only went up this high and it's on an arc, it wasn't going to do the entire thing. So we're going to add a little bit more here just so we can include that. And that's why it wasn't able to do all of it, because it didn't have a complete body to work with. So now we're going to include this. And I'm going to get rid of the first body so I can include this. Still not letting it, so I'm missing something here why it's not letting me get rid of this part here. But if I go back and take a peek now, we are getting the shape we want. We got the curve here. We can see it kind of show up nice here. We got that arc underneath there that's going to support the tubing on the curve. We got our back piece. Now I just have to get this front area here taken care of. So if I come back and take a look at my drawing, I must have goofed up something there and not gotten it where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to get rid of the first half of the body again so I can see what my drawing did. Well, this does allow me to select it. It does let me see that this is an area that I should be able to select. It wasn't letting me do that on the revolve. So something with the revolve was saying, no, we're not going to do this. I think I can be okay with that if that's going to be the case. But I'm going to try one more time. Now that we know that that can show up, I'm going to come back to the revolve and see if I can get it to pull up. Now it lets me do it. It must have just had a glitch. It didn't like what was going on. So now it's saying it can't combine. So we'll have to take a look and see why that is. Oh, because we've got this piece up here. So what I missed there, I'm going to go back and edit this feature. And what I did is I didn't put the second body back in the view. Combine isn't happy. I totally understand that. Come back here to the feature. We're going to say we did that. And we are going to have to all right. Now, just like I forgot about the curve feature on the main body, I forgot about it over here. So I have to grab that additional square there so it's all included in the revolve. So that should help us get this squared away. So I'm going to add the sketch back out. We're going to move this over. Oh, it's just tried changing my whole picture, which I don't want. So we're just going to do another rectangle right here. Finish that sketch. I'm going to come back over to the revolve feature, and we're going to include this in here as well. And now it should be happy. And now our error went away that I could put it back together. So that's really about it. I did have this kind of scheduled in here that I was going to do a pattern in here. I think I'm going to change my mind because honestly, I think it's going to work out just fine like this. I do want to know the distance here from the top down. I'm going to see if I can get that to tell me. So if I go from this top edge to this edge right here, 27 millimeters, and I've got a 30 millimeter tube that has to fit into that area, so that's not going to quite work. So what I think I will do instead is I am going to increase the height of this by, well, 3 would get me the bare minimum. I'm going to increase it by about 7. So if I go all the way back to my original drawing and increase this height by 7 and make this 52, the rest of this stuff should work out fine, other than now my drawing is giving me this little cap here. So I'll fix that. Come back into my drawing here. It's just going to be easiest to pop another rectangle from here up to there. And then on my revolve, I'm going to include that. That should take care of everything. Now we're back to what we want to see. If I look at the front again and get a distance from here to here, now we're well over the 30. And oh, that's because it's going at the angle. So we're going to close that out. We are going to do another inspect. We're going to go from here to here. It'll be on the same plane. Now we're at 34. That gives me plenty of room for that tubing. That is essentially it. I'm going to round off these edges real quick with some chamfers. Fillets. I will always call them chamfers. You probably know that because if you watch more than one of my videos, I've said it wrong every single time. Grab those. Anything that's going to be exposed that could scratch us a little bit or whatever. It's only going to be a 1 millimeter change. Just makes it a little friendlier. Top edge there. Do a 1 millimeter. Smooths everything out. Rounds it all out. And that's it. There we go. I will print this out. Probably going to do this as a short. And if you get an opportunity, if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. I would appreciate it. Thank you.